Big dog, 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 big dog.
I'm Crystal, co-producer, aka Chief of Staff.
No, let's just start from the top.
Oh, jeez. Well, you said we're just gonna let it roll. Go ahead. Start
Yeah.
from the top. Okay, go back to the top.
What up, though? I'm BJ Hall.
And I'm Crystal Hunt.
Welcome to In the Spirits, where we visit local places
For good drinks,
with good people.
to hear good stories.
We are so excited to get started on this journey. It's gonna be awesome. Moving forward with you all, growing with you all as we figure out how to do this podcast thing.
Absolutely.
So I'm BJ Hall, and I will be your host.
And I'm
Um,
Crystal. I'll be your co-producer, aka Chief of Staff.
Co-producer. What does producer even mean?
I
It's
don't
like
know. You gave me that title. I don't even know. It just means the person behind the scenes doing all the stuff. And sometimes in front of the camera.
what does that even mean? All right, all right.
It doesn't
Anyway,
mean anything, host.
well, you'll also be the voice from behind the camera.
Right. The one that keeps you in line. There you go. Whatever you want.
Uh, our little Jiminy Cricket.
No, I don't want that name. No, no, Jimmy.
All right, so what In the Spirits is gonna be? We will be interviewing local people, some of our leaders, some of our interesting people from the area, and we'll be exploring some of our wonderful spaces here down in Southern Maryland. There's so many hidden gems down here that a lot of people don't have an opportunity to visit and people just don't know about. So you'll get to see some of my favorite spots, some of Crystal's favorite spots, and we'll be asking you to share some of yours as well. So there'll be uh, us getting to know people, us getting to know businesses. This is going to be a really, really, really good show.
Yes, the people behind the people. That's how we like
Yeah,
to call it.
yeah. Sharing those stories, that's a good way for us to build community. So I'm excited to start growing with some of our guests and with some of our audience. So hopefully this can be a very interactive show, and we'll be able we'll be able to get to know each other. In the spirits, we'll be launching the show, and we'll be on was launching our shows on Wednesdays
Yes.
on YouTube.
Mhm.
We'll also be sharing clips on IG, Facebook, TikTok. So you need to follow us in the spirits podcast on IG and
Yes. And
Twitter
also
and
Twitter.
Facebook.
Yes. Hmm.
So all of the social media things
All of them. All the platforms. We're there.
and ITSSOMD on TikTok.
Yes.
So if you're on there doing your dances, stop by and check out our clips. No,
That's my. Oh. You said
what
do
was
the
that?
dance. That was my dance.
That was your dance? Was that like the
Back to
remember
the
the
80s.
time?
Back to the 80s.
Was that the remember the time?
Do you remember? I don't know what it is. Anyway, stop me. Go ahead.
All right. So when you connect with us on our social media platforms, please share some of your favorite local spots. We'll try to see if we can go there, record. I mean, it's gonna be really good. So
It is.
we
So
already have. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off. What you say?
now I said I'm so excited about this kickoff. We have so much to share already. Go ahead.
We have several episodes already recorded. So what we're gonna do is provide a little preview so you can have a flavor of what In the Spirits is gonna be. It's gonna be a free flowing conversation with some of your favorite people. I probably should have said that at the beginning.
Probably. That's okay. You got it in.
All right. So we look forward to getting to know you again. So
Definitely. All right. All
So how did the mob, quote mob, come into play?
So, we're having the meeting. Great presentation by the YMCA.
Absolutely.
And
Shout out to Robbie Gill. Robbie Gill is doing some really good work.
it truly was. It was a great presentation. I thought it was well thought out, well laid out. Listening to the entire thing, and we're there, and the biggest issue is the pool next to a pool, and that it hasn't been thought out of, at least in my opinion. This is what I'm thinking, and what are we going to do with that pool? This is a $16 million investment, taxpayer funds, $16 million. We have a pool. What are the costs for this pool? Things like that. None of that had been worked out at this point.
Okay.
So, Commissioner Hewitt is an outspoken supporter of the YMCA. I mean, outspoken.
The biggest supporter.
The biggest support.
By far.
And he wants to drive this home, drive it home. But there's a cost to when you're doing business that way. Without the in-between, Commissioner Hewitt makes a motion to approve the project as it is. No further vetting of the project, no talking about what we're going to do with the Great Moles pool, nothing. He won't get me the shovel, we're doing it.
Pool next to a pool.
That's it. So it fails. The motion fails. It
dies.
It dies. Yeah, it's dead. It goes nowhere. And there's a little bit of rumbling. And then Commissioner Colvin, all right, wants to make another motion. And as he's making a motion, the stirring is coming up further in the crowd. And then it turns into yelling and not chanting, there was no chant, but more of it stopped the meeting.
No, it was a chant.
Yeah.
It was a chant.
No, it was there.
We want a pool.
That's right, yeah, we want a pool. So it shut down the meeting. And there was a significant amount of people there. And I've never had a meeting shut down like that, and no. And it's short, 8 years. Some have been around longer, but it was literally broke all decorum, all conduct, and they took over the commissioner building, essentially, the meeting, okay? Now let's be careful. We're not talking about the YMCA insurrection, okay?
That's like January 6th. This was not that.
Yeah.
You're gonna leave my people alone.
Yeah.
It's like it was not that. It was like, and if you let Marsha Greenberg take over, you need to take it over.
Yeah.
That was your fault.
Yeah.
It's on you.
I thought there was somebody sitting on the desk with a seal and a podium. I'm not sure.
Tell us about you. So you are obviously, if you grew up in that house, that means you're from 5 minutes from here.
I am.
All right. So
I went to all the Charles County schools, including Charles County Community College, which is what
the school
is now College of Southern Maryland.
So it's the school formerly known as
Charles County Community College.
Yeah, there you go.
So we moved here when I was very young. I don't remember, but we were first in Waldorf, and then my parents moved down here and built this house in '86.
Nice.
And then in '08, my parents retired, and I bought the house from them.
That's awesome.
And my next door neighbor to my left, stage left, if you will, they also bought their house from their parents. So now we're both second generation in our neighborhood.
That's awesome.
Cool stuff.
Roger that. So have you been in the area in Southern Maryland, like
the whole time?
Yeah.
I feel as though if you're raised here, you need to leave for a period of time to appreciate it.
How long did you go?
10 years.
10 years. Where'd you go?
University of Maryland.
Does that count? Does that count leaving?
Not Southern Maryland.
Did you still have a bedroom at home?
I don't remember. No, I didn't, because my parents had foster kids.
Oh.
Yeah, so I actually, when I would come home to visit, would have to sleep on a couch or something. So the house, they always had like 1 or 2 foster kids when I was growing up. Like,
That's dope.
yeah, they worked with something for youth and families. I can't remember the name of it. That's terrible. It's Board of Child Care now. But yeah, so it was kids. They came from abusive backgrounds, alcoholic parents. all kinds of things. We were able to give them a stable family environment. Mind you, when they first started fostering, my sister and I were like 7 and 9.
Okay.
So there were definitely a lot of hijinks along the way. But it made them feel like they're part of like a normal family, you know? But we're all very silly. We joke constantly. We think everything's hilarious.
That's awesome. And I
That's
think
how we deal with everything.
I think you're hilarious.
Thanks.
What's a old girl's name? Chelsea Lately? Is that Chelsea Lately? Is that her name?
Chelsea lately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a couple. Does she still have a show?
I think she's about to get a show. I heard her on her podcast, and she talked about how dramatic and traumatic her childhood was, but she said humor was what helped bring everything together.
Yeah.
So it was like it was a difficult childhood, but it wasn't without love.
Exactly.
So
That makes sense.
yeah. Anyway, but does that explain why you do what you do on the outreach side?
Absolutely. My degree at Maryland is in Health and Human Services.
That's awesome.
I was gonna get a degree in social work, and I did the math on loans and rent and being on my own, and ended up going into sales for years and years, all different kinds of sales jobs. And only the last year, recently, well, I did work for Alternatives for Youth and Families. I knew I would remember for them for a year, which was, and that was a really awesome experience. I worked with kids in the independent living program. Well, I'm glad we weren't under attack. It was me not knowing how to stand with the microphone and then some creepy speakers.
I'm just saying, it's a coincidence
It
that it
is.
happened like that. But so I was laughing while you were talking about what was the name of the position again?
Independent living?
Yeah, because you had just talked about sales, so I was like, wait, you were selling kids? So I was like, it was like that's an odd transition. You just kind of jump from.
Yeah, so within the time of always being in sales, I did take a year at one point and worked with Alternatives for Youth and Families in their independent living program.
All right. So hold up. Before we get into the serious stuff, we got to talk about sales. Sales can be very interesting, in my opinion, because I don't know if you did it when you were in college, but I sold Cutco knives. I was in people's houses, living rooms, cutting pennies with the good scissors and everything,
Nice.
selling $700 knives to broke people in the hood.
That
Yeah,
sounds appropriate
I'm-
and necessary.
It was definitely not appropriate or necessary,
Yeah.
and I apologize to everybody who bought those knives from me, but they are good knives. And please send them to Cutco, get them sharpened. They are lifetime knives. They are amazing. 3-rivet system, let me tell you.
Wow.
So
you remember all the things. That's awesome.
all the things.
I brain dump a lot of stuff. So my first job out of college was Enterprise Rent-A-Car, so I was in management. Selling that insurance, yo. And went from trainee, assistant manager to manager. Then I sold cars. I sold Cadillacs in Bethesda. That was great.
Hold up, you were like the Calvin of Enterprise. You remember Calvin
No.
on the McDonald's commercials? He was like starting on fries and he was a manager. Calvin's a manager, girl.
That's it.
All right, go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
don't get it, but I'm just gonna.
It's okay. A lot of people don't get my jokes.
Are they jokes if nobody laughs?
Yes, they're just not good.
If a joke is told in the woods.
Does it really land? No.
It is home for me too. I always tell folks that St. Mary's is home just like Baltimore, because it's a place with a rich history, but also where I found myself as a person, and not just in a service standpoint, a political standpoint. So much about myself, and it is the most beautiful place in Maryland, outside of Baltimore.
Oh, wow. You know what? I ain't gonna argue with number two. At first, I was gonna go back and forth. But you know what? I'll take number two.
Yeah.
I'll take number two. So now that you mentioned St. Mary's, we got to stay there, just because that's where you started your professional
Yeah.
life, if you will. So can you tell us about how you ended up in St. Mary's?
Oh wow, this is the best part of the story. So everybody sees me now as like this poster child for St. Mary's College, right? And I always tell folks the story that I didn't choose St. Mary's, they chose me. I never even visited. My first day, which was 20 years ago in a few weeks, was August the 30th, 2002. Because growing up, I ran track. We just knew I was going to be running in college. Ended up getting hurt, but luckily, I had great grades. So I was a good student as well. And one day, I just show up to school. My coach, my first period, my trade teacher at my high school, Merville High School. Shout out to the state champion football Mustangs. And my dad is in this room. Is like, and my college brown counselor is like, this is the school we think you should go to. And it was St. Mary's with the admissions rep from St. Mary's, and I looked it over, saw it was a rigorous place. They were giving me a lot of money. That's how I ended up there. And I remember driving my '89 Ford Thunderbird down there. Kids don't know about MapQuest. I had to MapQuest it out, had my actual map, or this is how I get there, and then hit that bend on Route 5, and it's like, welcome to historic St. Mary's City. My first thought then was, where's the city? Now it's like, I'm home. That's how I ended up there, man. That, like, literally, it is. I always tell people everything happens for a reason, and it's literally something. That decision changed the trajectory of my life, and I wouldn't replace it for the world.
The entrepreneur, business runner, county runner,
God.
Damn.
county commissioner.
Come on, bring it on. Bring it on. Come on. Who are you talking about?
Thomasina. Come on.
That would be me.
So how does it feel when you listen to your resume? You know,
When you hear your name.
Was that really me? I was just like, was that really me? That was me. You talking about me? Oh, they're so nice. They just make up stuff about me.
Oh,
They just made up a story about me. But I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it. I'm cool with that. I'll take it. Hey.
So thank you for joining us.
I'm doing good.
Okay, good.
All right, so now we got to know about you. You got to tell us
Here
more
we go.
about
Let me
you.
get these questions ready.
So hold up. Now,
Okay.
it's my understanding that you're connected to a lot of the light-skinned black families in Southern Maryland.
The Proctors.
Proctors, Somerville.
I mean, her blood runs through the ground.
Yeah, Proctors. Yep. That. Let me give you my bloodline
Give it to me.
for real. Proctors, Thompsons, Phoons, Savoys, Harleys. That's my dad's side. My mom, Rosia Watson.
Couple of y'all broke my heart.
such and such. So yeah, but that's my mom's side. So yeah, so we got it all covered. Oh, let me get my husband's side. So you know what? That's why I tell my children, don't date anybody in this county.
They might be family.
Right, they might be
your cousin.
That's right. Don't date it. Don't think that the skin color is going to make a difference. Because they could be relative, regardless of what you look like. We come in all shades, different colors.
So that's on your mom and your dad's side.
My mom, my dad. Yep.
Wow.
My husband. We got that covered too. Johnson, Brown, Briscoe. Yeah, we got that covered too.
Briscoe? Okay.
Yeah, we got that covered too.
So when you mentioned husband, y'all really had to get the blood test done. Like, I need to make sure.
You damn right. Like, no, we'll
Is it
do
22andMe?
Right, that 22andMe thing. Right, I need to make sure.
You're absolutely right. No, we didn't play that kind of
Is
stuff.
he light-skinned too?
No, he's brown.
No, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just
brown.
kidding.
He's a mocha chocolate brother.
Okay.
I like
So he fit in with us.
Yep.
There you go.
Exactly. There you go.
Well, see, so we know her type. So
Moving on.
I think somebody look like me. What did I look like? What did I look like?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And look, let me tell you. You should interview him in summertime because that's a whole nother story. The son and I love each
So
other.
this is her winter
my winter
shade.
shade.
I tell my
It's
wife
my
this
winter.
all the time.
So
my wife got a winter shade and she got a summer
That's
shade.
right.
So right now her family on the eastern shore.
Gotcha.
So her mama is about your complexion. And right now, I say from the neck down, arms and stuff, is her winter shade.
Right.
So I always go to, like, even this morning, I was like, damn, baby.
Right.
I was like, yeah, it's a winter shade.
Right.
Summer shade is like, you come on over. Come on over.
That's why I love the sun. It's up. Oh my God. My husband's like, he looked at my feet one day. He's like, you need to get in the sun. I'm a little bit vitamin D deficient right now, but that's all right. Summer's coming.
Well, that was everybody during COVID. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Was it this next week? It's supposed supposed to be up to 70?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what
Well,
is it you
today's
do?
71, leaving the base.
I throw some
Come on.
teas and, try to go out on my deck and sun out.
Put your feet up.
Yeah. Maybe
There it
I
is.
go to the beach house and hang out there.
Excuse me, Miss Beach House.
We're going to get into that, right?
I know,
All right,
right?
y'all invited.
Don't say that. We'll bring for Tux and beer.
For free?
Hey, you come on.
We'll bring some beer.
free.
And Davey will be on the grill. Davey said he's going to be on the grill.
On the
David,
grill?
you got a date, Davey. Or on the
No.
grill, Davey.
But you got to wear your grill.
Yeah.
Davey, you got to wear your
You gotta-
grill
yep.
shoes. All right?
Right.
Your Jesus sandals.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you gotta take a dip. When you go get hot, you gotta go take a dip, okay?
Gonna love it. It's so pretty out there and everything. Now remember, I came from St. Louis, right? Where we have 4 seasons and it's green and then it's fall and all that, 4 seasons.
Yes, ma'am.
I get to Albuquerque and everything's brown. The buildings are brown. I swear the streets were brown. And I'm like, this is pretty. It took me a while to grow into it, but I learned to ski there, so that was cool. Hiked the mountain. The Balloon Fiesta is amazing. If you haven't done the Balloon Fiesta, it's just phenomenal.
That just happened, right?
Yeah, it goes from the first weekend of October through the second weekend of October. And I got to go up on one of the balloons during the mass ascension, which is so cool. So Albuquerque's really cool. And the reason they do the Balloon Fiesta there is because they have a box effect. That means the balloons can go up to one altitude, and then they'll go this way, and then they raise to another altitude, and they come back this way. So that, it's just depending what altitude you're at is which way you're going to go with the wind. So when I was there, they had at least 600 balloons. And I think by the time my husband left there was close to 800 to 900. I think they have over 1,000 balloons now.
That's awesome.
It is so cool.
When's the last time you went?
Here's oh gosh, when I was there last, in 92. My husband and I just talked about going next year. So we're making a plan to go next year. But here's the funny story, okay? So you have, I'm sorry if I'm hitting the table. So you have, these are hot air balloons, right? So they do this thing called the glow-dio, and where they blow the balloons up at night or at dusk, and so they glow. They don't take off, but they'll put enough into it that they glow. Well, we were out walking among the balloons, and this is so cool, taking our pictures and everything. And all of a sudden, this wind comes up, and you've got, and I forgot to tell you this. Okay, so you got special shapes out there too. Everything from Mr. Peanut to dinosaurs to big radios, and just everything, right? So we're walking along, and this wind comes up, and then all of a sudden, the dinosaur starts coming down on it. You hear people screaming, and I'm like, why are you screaming? It's a hot air balloon. It's not going to hurt you, But it was just so funny watching this big dinosaur come down and attack the tennis shoe.
That's awesome.
At the end of the day, Black America, Brown America needs to understand what's at stake.
Yes.
Okay, there's a lot of issues that are going undiscussed, unresolved, that will affect us severely. There's always a saying, when white America gets a cold, Black America gets pneumonia. And so every single time something goes bad, it cripples us.
Right.
And so I plead with the Black and Brown community, especially here in Charles County, because we have now been pegged as the most richest county, not just in Maryland, but in the United States of these Americas. And so what does that really mean? Are we going to stand up and rise to the occasion? Or are we going to just sit here and bask in the glory of being the richest? Are we going to learn from our northern neighbor, find out how they lost the title? Okay, are we going to look at what they did well and didn't do so well and pattern the next 15, 20 years for Charles County? Are we going to just sit here and just be happy to be? I'm not happy to be. Okay, and as a civil rights leader, I am demanding more, not just of the citizens, but of the Black leadership that's leading us. Okay, because we got to hold you to a higher standard.
Absolutely.
Because you understand the struggle. You know how hard it was to get you to where you are. And for you to get to that position and not do your job, I have a problem with that.
Just, something that I knew inevitably it was going to happen. And what's crazy is, I've talked to like some of my buddies, from especially at law school, and they, and I never forget, it was recent. My buddy was saying, yeah, Rube, I remember when we were in law school, you were saying how you were going to go home and you were going to represent your community. And, in my mind, I'm like, God damn, you don't remember saying all that. But I kept hearing that that's what I was saying, I obviously had a purpose,
Yeah. Let me ask you, because politics, get it? Your community, get it? Charles County, at the time, you said, hey, I'm the one. I remember going on the website, because they said, well, look for the councilman. I said, he's black. I didn't know. And at that time, it was kind of unheard of.
What you need the visual. You talk about this
know,
wall right here.
Yeah, I need
you got to go in the county government building and see that wall, and see how it through the years. Then all of a sudden,
Wait a minute. That's not. Wait a minute. He's different.
But yeah, it's. But everything coincided with the change in demographics. It's not rocket science. And that's why whenever I speak like anything in Prince George's County, I say the same thing. I say, look, I want to thank y'all. Because if it wasn't for you, I would not be in this position. That's all it is to it,
Then now in Annapolis, then we're gonna cut it. Then we're gonna get back to a regular conversation.
Well, I'll be quick, man. My name is Alonzo Washington. I've been a delegate since 2012 when I was first appointed. Before then, I worked on the county council, so I have a history of working in the county government. Actually, my first Prince George's County. Look, I'm from PG. I can say PG.
Hold up, no. Last time I was here, somebody pulled Nick Charles to the side and said, if your frat brother say PG one more time.
Look, that's true, man. Look, we first off don't like outsiders saying PG, that if you're not from PG, but we also don't like Q saying it either. I'm a man of Alpha Phi Alpha, and Q's need to get it right, man. It's Prince George's County. It's Prince George's County,
Don't Q's run that county?
Nah, bro.
I'm just saying, the delegation, and y'all.
You know what? My my good friend Nick Charles is an Omega. He's a good man. But the next governor of Maryland is an Alpha. Westmore as a brother of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Even though I want to poo-poo on the Manchurian candidate, I will not do that today. That is a good dude.
He is a good dude, man.
The fact that we're about to get, was it our fourth black governor?
Gubernatorial candidate, right? This is our third black gubernatorial candidate.
Ever.
Oh, in the country.
In the culture.
Oh, fair enough.
Fair enough. I think it's the third election. The third elected. So is it going to be the fifth black governor, third elected?
Well, let's get it right, man. Look, the state of Maryland needs to get it right, and this is our time. This is our opportunity to make sure that we elect someone that's a sensible, smart, family man that's ready to get to work on day one, man. He's an amazing brother, amazing husband, just a great overall person.
I forgot, I'm not a politician. And I know this is probably going to get me murdered where I'm from.
Okay. Why? What?
You know I'm a Republican.
No.
Oh, you ain't know?
No, I ain't know that. Let me get the hell off of this. What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here talking to you? Oh, we got. Why did you do this to me, Miss Chief of Staff? Look, what's going on, brother?